Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can implement a value objects but by writing in a production ready code. Now I'm going to try to bring something new on YouTube. There are other YouTubers which explain how value object is, what are the properties, but the problem I see here is that the implementation I often see is the one which is in the book. And I really think right now with modern C# features, this can be a bit different. So this is what I'm going to try to bring something here on YouTube. Now, value object, I find one of the most important element from the whole domain-driven design and the most easiest to implement in any application with the most beneficial. And the common things I often see by implementing value objects are two. So first of all, by implementing a value object, don't repeat yourself. So that's very easy to fix the dry pattern. And the second, by implementing that, you are opening a place for refactoring. And I'm going to try to show you right now into the code. Now, in case you don't know, I'm building a fully fledged real SaaS product using .NET. And the code that you're going to see here is going to be in that product. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump to the code. So what we're having here, it is a company entity that is in our SaaS product, and there are already a couple of value objects here, like the company registration number or the websites. Now I'm gonna implement a new one in this entity and try to show you what are the steps that you have to go through in order to make this live. So the one that I'm gonna discuss right now, it is the company name. Let's have a look to all the usages or the company name. There are a couple of usages right now. Most of them are in logging, but the one I'm interested in right now are these usages. So in many places, I'm trying to find if a company name, if two actually company names have the same name, and I'm making this check like the string equals. Now this is often repeated multiple times. As you can see, here's one attempt, here's the second attempt. And also I do have the name used not in the company entity, but also in another entities, which is still represent the name. So you can see that there are two usages where this could be a beneficial and I could get rid of this invariant culture ignore case. Now I have already started a company name, so I'm gonna go creating a new struct. I'm gonna name company name. Now, if you have followed my previous video, you know that I always recommend to start with implementing a record. That's very easy to implement a value objects. But in this case, this will not work because the default equality comparer for the string, actually for all the members inside the value object, which is, by the way, just one string, which will replace the name, will have the default equality, and we are not happy with that. So that's the reason in this case, I'm not going to use record instruct, and I would like to implement the classical equitable compare. So this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you a proper implementation like here. Now, this is what I'm going to do. So that's the reason by the default comparer, it will be string equals ordinal ignore case. And I'm going to implement the one with string and the one with company name. And I'll also implement the one from the value object. This you have to always implement by your own. So that should be the first step. Now I'm gonna just go and copy the value objects here in the company name, and I'm gonna go in the object, in the entity, sorry, and I'm gonna replace the string with here, and also in the constructor where this name was used. Now also I'm gonna add another code because we need a way to create these company names, and I do have already some codes which it will be out of scope of this video, but the point here is by implementing a value object, you can add a lot of methods by creating a company name. And I'm gonna just give you an instance. You can create a simple one, you can create a normalized, and you can have also some normalized names here. There are some functions. As you can see, right now our company name, it will start to grow bigger. The next step is to tell Entity Framework to register these value objects to be serializable as a string. For that, you need a value converter, and you can easily do that by creating a new class inheriting from the value converter. And I do have two of them because I would like to be created nullable and non-nullable entries. So for the one which I don't want nullable, I'm gonna just copy and I go here to company registration entity, which is here, and go here to the company name, and I'm gonna say converter new this one. Now here, this is required, so it makes sense to have non-nullable, but again, here it is. I do have another logic. So here, the max length is set to 256. So that's another opportunity for refactoring. So I'm gonna just say company name and write a property of max length, which I'm gonna make a constant equal 256. And I'm gonna make verification here when I create the company name in these create methods, but here I'm gonna go out of scope. So that's another usages, and there is two usages we have seen. So from the company entity, and there was another entity which is called unregistered participant. So here I'm gonna go here and reuse the same object. And also I have to register the same value converter here. So this is an own entity. I'm gonna have to register the same one. So now I'm using in the own entity the same value converter, and that should be it. I have configured the value converters for entity framework, and now I should be able just to fix the errors. I'm expecting to have a lot of build errors, so I'm gonna go and fix all of them. Also, before going further, I would like to remove those string equals. So I'm gonna find all the references and I'm gonna just remove and replace the string equals by using the normal operator. By using equal and this with the participant name, and that should be it. But in order to work, I do have to define the static operators equal. So I have to go back to the company value, like here, and define the static operators. Now I'm gonna go back, this error was gonna fixed, and I have to remove all the others as well. So I have fixed all the errors, including the one from the test, because right now there is no string and it's used directly from the using the value objects. But the good part is that there are tests, integration tests, about 200, which by running them, I'm making sure that there is no regression, or there is very low chance of having regressions. Now, this is the good part of having integration tests. So all I have to do is just to wait integration tests to finish and then fix the eventual errors. So that was how a value object is implemented. I'm going to show you all the company name right now. So I have actually started to do some refactoring. This code was in the company object. This is also an implementation and an optimization that has to be made, because previously when I had to compare the company name, I had to load the entire company object, the company entity, and perform equality on the name. But right now there is not needed anymore. So I can do it just by implementing the company name. So this is also some performance improvement by implementing such a thing. The initial one would be able to reuse the code has been achieved by implementing equality here, and also by implementing the custom operators. And the third one by allowing refactoring, which I have just presented. There was some code here. I have moved some functions here. So right now my company object, it is over 100 lines, and also the calculation for the similarity has been moved here. So that was all how I implement a value object in a production ready code. Right now I do have the tests. It has been past 10 minutes and the test still running. This is going to be a problem right now, because having too many integration tests also it's a pain. But I'm going to make an assumption there are no regression. I see all the tests passing, so I'm just going to end this video as being successfully. Let me know what you think, what problems have you encountered, and what do you think about this approach? Do you see any advantage, disadvantage? Let me know in the comments, and if you do have any other question, maybe that would be the subject for the next video. Until the next time, I'm Daniel, and see you soon. Bye.